This week, we've skipped the funny intro, and you might notice that the episode is considerably shorter than usual. Listen through, and you'll understand why it gets cut short.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a 30-something with a 4-year-old stepdaughter and a pregnant fiancé.
And I'm Daniel. I'm a 30-something, and I've had kids for a while, ranging from toddlers to teens.
Well, hello, and welcome to episode 17 of Ramblings of Dadmen. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Love Honey, or at least we might as well be sponsored by Love Honey, because, Daniel, you have a bit of a following. Multiple feedback about you, my friend. I don't know what it is.
It's definitely the sense of humour and sophistication and everything that comes with being a experienced father. FYI, I am married. Please stop sending me underwear.
I love how this podcast was targeted at men that's going through, new dads talking about mental health in general and just trying to have a bit of an offloading session for men. And our audience are horny women, by the sounds of it.
Unintended, win?
Perks. Yeah. Thank you everybody for your, because there have been multiple, but thank you for your feedback. I've said a couple of them to Daniel. But yeah, how you doing, mate?
Oh, good. Yeah. Flattered more than anything. But yeah, just generally cracking on with the week. Bit of a busier weekend, as has been the case for the last couple of weeks, really, than during the week. But otherwise, good. Yeah. You?
Have you been up so much, or?
So yesterday we finally cracked and we've put our Christmas tree up. The house is now decorated all Christmassy and shit.
I noticed, I saw on social media your Christmas tree, and everything about your Christmas decorations sum you up as a couple in terms of perfect, colour coordinated, everything has its place. And it just kind of juxtaposed to our Christmas tree, which was decorated by Flossie. It's uncolour coded, not correct, a bit of a mess, wacky all over the place. It just kind of, I thought, symbolised our friendship, to be honest with you.
I'll just pull you up on a pre-pod win there, because there's zero colour coordination from my side, at least. Beck colour coordinates all her shit, her outfits. You can see she's chief architect with the actual design work. I do the structural shit. I put the tree up and then put the lights on, and then I've got to stand back and let Beck dress the tree. That's
what it was last year for me. I had to do the manual work until the decorations came out, and then I was slightly pushed aside. This year, Becky definitely project managed from the couch because she was struggling to bend over and stuff like that. But, I tell you what, just jumping into a few things. I know we'll go off subject, but Becky is quite heavily pregnant now, and
really?
You never know.
I didn't know. I haven't kept track of that. All right.
But we were having a discussion earlier in the week, and she was like, "Oh God, do you know how hard it is to do this with somebody inside of you? Do you know what what the was not?"
Please tell me you responded the way that I hope you did.
Yeah.
So how many black eyes have you got? One or two?
Yeah, it did not help. So my response is, do you want another one inside of you? No. So no black eyes, but a couple of dirty looks. Our week's been really, really quiet, to be fair. We officially have to isolate now until Wednesday. We'll talk into it a little bit more. So we are isolated. So we've not really had Flossie since last Wednesday. We saw her yesterday. So we just had a bit of a quiet day with her. Becky took her out and had a bit of daughter-mum time. Went into town to get some last bits of shopping. And, they went out for something to eat. And then I tagged in as stepdad and played with her in the house because there wasn't much else we could do, I'm afraid. We've discovered the game of playing roller coaster with a washing basket. We just spent 2.5 hours after I should have. It was like I was doing the bleep test again, to be honest with you. But yeah.
That's the thing with young kids. Like, once you do something fun once, they want to go again, again, again. Like when Georgie used to be very, very small, and she's got a friend that was equally as small. If you just like pick one of them up and chuck them up in the air, obviously not like launch them, the size of the house or anything, just jumping them up in the air. Loved it. And then the next one comes on, do it to me, throw me up. I'm like, okay, go on then. And then you think, fucking great, done it once each, that's it, there's your limit, I'll go back to drinking. No. You spend half an hour doing that shit.
Yeah.
And they do not get fucking bored.
Well, this is what I found out about living with not a toddler, a small child, is that they do not get bored in the slightest. And they don't realise that adults are blowing out their ass after about 10, 15 minutes, aren't they?
Yeah. So listen, children, just calm the fuck down.
Yeah, the elves are watching you. I tell you what, that did come out this weekend. The infamous Elf on the Shelf.
Oh, yours has arrived. Ours hasn't yet.
Ours is waiting until the 1st of December.
Yeah, no, ours came out this weekend, and she spotted it. It was on the radiator, and she said, "Oh look, the elves have come." And obviously, there's a story where you can't touch it, can you? Because that steals the magic. And she's like, "Where's it come from?" And obviously, she knows that it's come from the lights in the sky now, as what we discussed last week. And she was like, "Oh, they've come from the lights. They're watching us." And I said, "Oh, well."
You could really abuse that. Like at night time, if the sky's dark, just look for planes flying over.
Oh, that's a well good idea.
Yeah.
Note that down.
There we go. Completely off topic, and we get into what I've actually done this week as well. But I had Callum rotten. I sat on the stairs and I had a little laser pen. There was a crack in the door, and I was shining this laser through the crack in the door on the wall above the TV, and he was genuinely like shitting himself, like looking up. Was like, Beck was sat in the room with him. She's like, "Did you see that?" Beck was in on it. I thought, "See what?" And I'd turn the light off and then flash it back on again. And he's looking at it and he's jumping up and down, going wild because he could see this. And then Beck knew. And I think it took him a good 10 minutes, and that was just me just having fun with him, just like shining this torch and then keep winding him up. Maybe that's why he hates me so much right now.
When we were younger and we had a sleepover at your house, and this was back in the day where multi-room wasn't a thing, and you had the newest technology where you had Sky downstairs, but you also had it in your parents' room as well. And you played a trick on me where you went upstairs, and I didn't know this, and you started pressing 666 on the remote, and the TV would change over. And I thought that, your Skybox was possessed for a minute.
Yeah. The devil is trying to get you through the medium of Sky.
Yeah. Oh. So it's glad to see that you've not grown out of those
childish traits.
Yeah, that's
the infinite child. Tell you what we have done this weekend. We've done our annual trip to Bent's, but we made a really good discovery when we were there.
Oh, go on.
So normally we go late morning, afternoon, and it's usually rammed. I'm getting old. I hate traffic and I hate queues and I hate loads of people.
Especially as you come off that roundabout and you just gridlocked. Yeah.
So we made the decision, or I made the executive decision, that we were going to go very early, and it tied in really nice because Beck's car needed to go in for some repairs. So we dropped that off first thing, and then we were there for sort of 9:30, 10 o'clock. We got some breakfast on the way, and it was ace. We just sort of beat all the traffic. There was no one there, parked straight up and straight in. But then we saw these bags almost as you go in, and maybe it was just the time of day that we always arrive, they're never there. But it was almost like a surprise bag of veg. So Bent's has got this massive food hall that's all very farm grown, from field to store or whatever the terminology is. And it's all organic and it's really good stuff. But they had these bags that was vegetables that was due to not necessarily go off, but needed using in the next day or two. They made these little brown bags, and it was only $1.50, so it was cheap as piss. That's what attracted me initially. But it was just loads of vegetable inside this bag, and they were all $1.50. So you just pick one up, and then you've got this huge bag of stuff to sort of take home. And when we got home, there was all sorts in there. There was a turnip, there was carrots, there were potatoes, cabbage, mushrooms, 3 beetroots. There's loads. Really good value for money. So I'm genuinely like at the point where I was that impressed. I might go back each week on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock just to get one of these
just to get veggies. That sounds so good. I remember the last time I went into Bent's, there was like a bit of a farm shop, and I don't know if you've noticed or if it's even there anymore. But in the freezer section, there's a pick and mix section, but it's for like a Sunday lunch. I don't know if you've seen that, where you can like pick and mix like some Yorkshire puddings, a turkey crown, a few carrots, like
I've never seen that, but that's how it is.
Yeah, it's a thing. You just get like a little tray, and then you just like, it's all frozen stuff, but you just crack on. I assume put it in the oven or put it in the microwave. I would assume oven, because
well, if it's frozen, I'm assuming you're going to take it home. Not
yeah.
I mean, the way you explain it to me, it sounds as though you just pick up a bunch of stuff there, put it on a tray, and put it in an oven in Bent. I didn't see those facilities.
No. That'd affect the trade in the cafe, I would imagine, as well, wouldn't it? So, but yeah, so sounds good. Was it as Christmassy as you expected, Bent's?
Yeah, they go above and beyond every year with the decorations. And to be fair, we need to go when it's not Christmas just to have a benchmark for comparison.
Yeah.
We just see all of the fun stuff that they put out, and it is really good. So yeah, we went round, bought a lot of stuff, and then came home and just did the usual stuff. We obviously put the tree up, but then all weekend we've just been watching Christmas films. We've watched The Holiday, we've watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, we've watched Bad Santa 2, Nativity 3. Generally just Christmas film after Christmas film. It's just been really good. On the last film there, that Nativity 3, Beck actually thinks that if I was to be any school teacher from any film ever, it would be Mr. Poppy, because I've got this genuine talent of just winding kids the fuck up.
Nativity is not a film I ever watched. I think I watched the first one last year. It was Becky that introduced it to me. I definitely haven't seen the third one. I probably haven't seen the second one. What?
I'm really sorry, but my water just broke.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Hang on. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm actually not joking.
So there you have it. We had to cut short for the best reason of all. By the time this goes live, it's highly likely that Becky and Matt have some news to share with you all. Now let's just take a moment to wish Becky and Matt all the best for the future, but more importantly, let's appreciate the level of unpreparedness of Matt and his impending sleep deprivation. We'll be back next week when Matt can discuss his first moments of being a parent. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll both see you next week.